Good afternoon, dear subscribers and guests. According to your numerous requests, we are answering your questions today, dear ones. So, the first question, how can I use water in the morning? Olga asks. What do you mean, dear Olga? Should I drink water or take a shower? Well, okay. Cold water in the morning not only gives you pleasure, but it narrows your pores and improves blood circulation. This will make you look fresher and your skin healthier. For the more daring, a contrast shower can be a useful morning habit. You have plenty of energy for the whole day. Other uses of water. This is water with lemon on an empty stomach. It has been proven that warm water with lemon in the morning is one of the simplest useful things that we can do for our own body. One glass will replenish the fluid lost overnight and start important processes necessary for the body to live during the day. Next question. Why does appendicitis occur? Why do I need an appendix? Maybe it's worth it. Remove it as a preventive measure, just in case. Svetlana. Damn, what's up? Come on, Svetlana. Yes, the sequel. Since childhood, I've heard that you shouldn't eat an apple with a core, but a watermelon and a pomegranate with seeds. My parents told me that this would lead to the appendix becoming clogged and inflamed. My stomach would hurt and I would have to have surgery. Could appendicitis be due to sunflower seeds, for example? Well, the doctors say it's fake. The appendix can only be removed if food debris, husks, completely block the passage to this appendix of the cecum, and this happens very, very rarely. Well, really, scientists, there is no definite answer to the question of why appendicitis develops. Most likely, several reasons are to blame here, acting at the same time, in the same place. And the seeds and cores have nothing to do with it. Well, some like you, are afraid that appendicitis will overtake them at some very inconvenient moment when they will have to seriously change their plans or abandon them altogether. Therefore, they say that they are ready to remove the appendix prophylactically. While nothing has happened to it, it has not become inflamed. First of all, it is quite obvious that the right moment for inflammation of the appendix will most likely never come. Secondly, any operation, even one as simple and common as appendix removal, is still an intervention that is generally better avoided unless absolutely necessary. Well, thirdly, scientific evidence indicates that the appendix is not at all a useless appendage of the cecum, but a completely necessary functional organ that performs an important function in the body. Index is a habitat for beneficial intestinal bacteria necessary for normal digestion. This is a kind of farm for such microorganisms, where they multiply in peace and security. Then digestion is involved. In addition, a large amount of lymphoid tissue was found in the appendix, which is extremely important for, in general, the appendix is a fairly necessary organ, without which it becomes more difficult to fight infections, as well as to restore the intestinal microflora. That is why it is definitely not worth carrying out operations for no reason. Just as a preventive measure, I would not advise you. How to apply a hair mask correctly, Valentina? The effect of the hair mask will be stronger if you know when and how to apply it. Well, for example, you apply it before or after shampooing. During shampooing, conditioner and mask are used at the same time? Well, it's practically pointless. Both products set and soften the hair. However, they act in different ways. The conditioner works more on the surface, and the mask on the structure. That is why we wash off the first product after 1 to 2 minutes, and keep the second for 5 to 10 minutes. But ideally, you should use the tool like this. After each shampooing, apply conditioner, and apply a mask only every third time instead of a balm, and keep it longer. Then the effect of using the funds will be maximum. Which hair should be masked? Ready-made or purchased products should be applied to wet hair. It is advisable to lightly pat them with a towel after a shower and wrap them in it for a couple of minutes to get rid of excess water. Then you can apply care. The exact time is indicated on the packaging of the product. As a rule, you need to keep it in the area of 10 minutes. And which hair is better to apply a homemade mask? Most often, you should apply a natural mask to dry hair, and then wash it off with shampoo. In addition, home remedies take longer to take effect, about 30 to 40 minutes. It is important to remember that natural products are often not designed for reusable use, if you prefer to make such cosmetics for care yourself, but each time you will have to prepare a new solution. What is the best way to apply a mask to your hair? Nastia. Nastia, spread it over the entire length, paying special attention to the tip. Most products are not recommended to be applied to the scalp, so avoid this area. After applying the product, put your hair under a cap and wrap it with a towel on top. Homemade egg masks should only be washed off with cool water, otherwise they will be difficult to remove. Repeat the procedure twice a week unless the manufacturer recommends something else. What about low-fat dairy products? I want to switch to them. Nina. When choosing cottage cheese, kefir, or yogurt, we only look at the fat percentage. Well, honestly, right? However, low-fat foods often cause much more harm to the figure than their fatty counterparts. It is impossible to make a product from natural whole milk that does not contain fat. Therefore, it is degreased artificially, of course. After this procedure, the product loses not only its fat percentage, but also its taste and presentation. To correct this presentation, manufacturers add starch, dyes, preservatives, and additives. And for the taste, of course, sugar. Lots of sugar. A 5% cheese boil will do much less harm to your figure than a low-fat one. And it will saturate for a long time. Draw conclusions. Is fast oatmeal useful, Andre? Well, oatmeal is a great breakfast option if it's made from natural oats. Porridge made from a bag of blueberries, strawberries, or tropical fruits is neither the fruit nor the oatmeal itself in the form it should be. In order for the oats, which are usually cooked for at least 20 to 25 minutes, to be ready for use in 3 minutes, after you pour boiling water over it, it is passed through several processing steps. Each of these steps of oatmeal loses its beneficial properties, and at the exit you get carbohydrates, plus a lot of sugar and a lot of additives. It is best to cook lazy oatmeal in 20 minutes in the morning or better in the evening to get a delicious, healthy breakfast, saturated not with sugar, but with nutrients. We all know firsthand the dangers of a lot of sugar. There are skin problems, excess weight, fatigue, diabetes, if you really get carried away, then even more serious health problems. But with this knowledge, we stop putting sugar in coffee and tea and limit the use of cakes and chocolates. However, there are foods that hide their high sugar content behind the label of usefulness. And we often don't even know or suspect the threat they pose to our body. We will tell you about 5 products, sugar in which may become an unpleasant surprise a little later. I want to switch to soy milk with flavoring additives. What do you say, Mikhail? Lactose withdrawal has become one of the most important nutrition trends. And many people switch to vegetable milk even without medical indications. Such milk really has advantages only if you buy it in its pure form.
Sugar, chocolate, banana, vanilla, soy milk.
This is not a product that should be consumed daily. Not only are huge amounts of sugar added there, but bananas are also not real there. You can drink a banana milk latte once if you want to, but this is not the best choice for a daily diet. Are dried fruits useful, Paulina? Well, one thing I can say, Paulina, they contain a lot of sugar. Unlike previous products, it is not added there, but natural, of course, it is fructose. During the drying process, fruits lose only water, and all vitamins, antioxidants, and fruit powder remain unchanged. This means that eating a kilogram of apricots is not the same as eating a kilogram of dried apricots. Nutritionists do not recommend eating fruits in an amount exceeding 3 to 4 pieces per day. Next question. On Instagram, bloggers with a perfect figure keep showing their breakfasts in stories, where they always have pellets and smoothies. What do you say, Irina? Oh, Irina, this is just a picture where even oatmeal or a plate of cottage cheese will look much less attractive. The granule you buy in supermarkets is often made up of more than just whole grains and nuts. There's coloring, flavoring, additives, preservatives of all kinds, and, of course, a ton of added sugar. The pellet will probably become breakfast only if you cook it yourself at home. That's the only way. Be 100% sure that there will be nothing superfluous or bad in the composition. Well, I think that's enough for today. Thank you for the questions. We are waiting for more questions from you to accumulate. Then we will answer them again. Stay with us. Take care of yourself.